Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Nahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of all Israel on earth today. And salutations to my fellow laborers in Akim, Confusion of Face Akim, that are joined unto us to do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. All right, it's your brother Malcolm up from the branch here in Chicago. And this is a couple of videos that I've been watching. These post-apocalyptic videos. You know how YouTube is. Once you watch one film, they got all these little short films. And some of them are good, some of them are garbage. But I watched a couple yesterday, and then I watched the video of Bible Secrets Unveiled. My brother Bara, you know, one of the heads here in Chicago, and it kind of spirit jumped on me to use this footage. And this one is a film. The other one is actually, I'm gonna use another one, which is just a video, so so that I can avoid any type of copyright. I'm not gonna put the sound on, and that whole sort of thing. But the imagery, I'm gonna borrow. Okay, and I'm gonna start with 2 Corinthians, in the 5th chapter. But once again, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Nahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Okay, but yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. And it reads, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, and everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whatever it be good or bad." All right, so you're going to be judged for all things you've done. And this is talking about women too. All right, and women have been wanton and careless on this earth, almost every one of them. Okay. In this age of the Kardashians and this woman worship and woman over the man and freedom of the woman to do this and that, when the scripture said, give not your women over much liberty, man. All right, especially your daughters. Verse 11, "Knowing therefore that the terror of Yahweh will persuade men, but we are made manifest unto power, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness." All right. So, yeah, we teach the word of the Lord and the things that are come, which you can clearly and apparently see. I just saw the list of stores that shut down in the last 15 days and businesses, and it is quite frightening, you know. And then the launch of the petrol yuan, which is going to be a game changer in America, which is going to lead to what we're looking at, man. So times are going to get really, really bad. And you see this man. This man is basically, this is the future for a lot of you women, man. You're going to get bought, sold, and traded. All right. Let's just fast forward. And right there, he had the women take a seat. And this guy has to pick from among the women and men, because it's going to be like that, man. Okay? It's going to be really, really bad. And you women are going to be bought, sold, and bartered, you know? It's quite simple as that, man. It's going to be bought, sold, and bartered, man, and traded. All right? Deals are going to be made. It's going to get crazy out here. Okay? Just trying to get to the scene where the guy actually takes the girl, the one he chose. And, well, there it is. And the funny thing is that when he chose this girl, some of the other girls looked like they were kind of salty that he didn't choose them. Because I guess he was a better looking prospect than the current situation that they were in. All right. I guess they had just come to terms with the reality of what was going on. And it's going to get brutal out here when lawlessness is gone. It truly is. It's going to get crazy out here. So let's click to another one. Yeah. And it's funny.
Hi, everyone, and welcome.
The video is titled "Being an Attractive Woman" or "Being an Attractive Female Doing the SHTF." And if you don't know what that means, it's called "Shit Hit the Fan." And if you're not keeping up with current events, the shit is about to hit the fan.
To the contingency plan. I have no idea how the subject of this video came up, but once I started thinking about it, I realized that as disturbing as it is, there is probably a lot of truth to it. Sadly, this almost exclusively has to do with how men will target women. I don't really envision any scenarios where good-looking guys are going to be directly affected one way or another.
And that is a lie. Because with the sodomite and homosexual vibration that's moving through America, man, all right, a lot of men, good-looking and attractive men, are definitely going to be targeted in the same scenarios when as good-looking and attractive men, especially if you're not gang-affiliated or you're not super buff or very strong and vigile, if you get locked up into Esau's prison system, which is a breeding ground for homosexuality, man. And a lot of guys, the homosexuality is forced upon them. All right, they're not involved in homosexual activities by choice. They're forced. All right, and if you're a very attractive man, all right, and you don't have no mad squabble skills, man, or you're not, incredibly strong, you get into the prison system, they're gonna look at you just like this woman, tattoo a set of breasts on your back and keep you bent over. Yeah, you just got the visual, right?
I don't see men or women targeting attractive men in regards to violence. However, if you're an attractive female, as horrible as Shit Hits the Fan will be in general, I feel it may be even worse for you. Also, and this makes it even worse, I don't believe age will play a factor much at all. If you're a female and you're visually appealing, you will be targeted more so than if you were considered homely, below average, or just plain ugly. We've all heard count.
That's true, because if you're not an attractive woman, you can pretty much guarantee that death is going to come to you pretty quickly. You're going to starve to death, or you're just going to be a victim of Micah 7 and 10 a lot faster than the average woman, or than an attractive woman. Okay, and also the real beauty is going to be tested. Like the girl on the screen now, she's kind of cute. She's not bad looking, and she's not wearing makeup. So you women who are able to disguise your face with all this makeup and hygiene is going to be out the window too, man. So no tampons, no deodorant. You're not going to be able to clean and doll yourself up. This is going to come down to true beauty, man. All right. And if you don't have that, chances are you're not going to be given any water. You're not going to be given any food. All right. And and you're just going to have a miserable existence until you die in the streets, man.
Most times how men are visual creatures. Most of them couldn't care less if you're smart enough to rub two sticks together. If you have a nice body or they find you visually appealing in any way, you will catch their attention. And in a Shit Hits the Fan situation, you do not want to draw any attention to yourself at all, positive or negative. As much as the gray man method is going to be a challenge for many people because of their narcissistic behavior, being an attractive female is going to increase that difficulty dramatically. Once rule of law is out the window, the only thing that is going to prevent men from targeting beautiful women is their own moral compass. If they lack one to begin with, or it fades over time, attractive females may end up having the most difficult time during Shit Hits the Fan of anyone. The conditions we may find ourselves living in over time will have some effect on a woman's appearance, simply due to the lack of hygiene and clean water we may have available to us.
So, like he said, that's when true beauty is going to be tested. And he said in the moral compass of man, America is morally corrupt, man. So you can look for no moral compass. You're going to be chained up and being sold by guys who gonna seize that opportunity. Some of you just gonna get chained up in the basement, or chained to a tree or to a pipe somewhere, and you just gonna get ran through. Some guys gonna charge, man, or they're gonna use women to barter with to get food and services, man. All right, it's going to get real ugly out here. And you can't trust in yourself. And if the Lord is not with you, or the man that you're with, you both could end up chained up together. This is Proverbs 3 and 5. And it reads, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart, and lean not into thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. All right? Be not wise in thine own eyes, and fear Yahweh, and depart from evil. Because this guy is talking about how women's going to have to learn to defend themselves and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not, totally against that. But, how much can you really, truly defend yourself against a man? All right? Especially if your circumstances are on an equal platform.
But a visually attractive female is still going to be considered attractive to many men, even after we all start to look a little rough around the edges. To make it worse, over time, standards are going to drop. So even if you consider yourself borderline attractive today, 6 months into a shitty situation, you may go from a 5 to an 8 in the eyes of men with nothing to lose and no laws to keep them in check. Today, being considered beautiful is a goal many try to attain on a daily basis.
Lawlessness, man. There's going to be no place to hide. Now, this one right here, she's not looking too good. She would probably get passed over. Or she might just get chosen to be eaten because cannibalism is coming back. That's one of the benefits of being an attractive woman. At least you may not end up, hacked to pieces and your limbs eaten.
In a shit hits the fan world, attractive women may switch to trying on purpose to ugly themselves up as much as possible. This tactic will work to some extent, but overall probably won't have much of an impact on whether or not you are targeted by men intent on doing you harm. Most will still be able to single an attractive female out of a group rather easily. And as if this all wasn't bad enough, it gets worse. Assuming you survive any actual assaults, in a post-apocalyptic world, the last thing you're going to want is a pregnancy, let alone...
Man, let me read this. This is Isaiah, the 13th chapter, starting at the 14th verse. And it shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. And they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, and their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. The houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Hey, the women are going to be getting raped silly, all right? And a man who doesn't have the covering of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, any woman or women that's with him is going to be ravished, man. And I got news for this guy, man. Children are going to be a delicacy. People are going to be eating little kids, man. That was that movie called Snowpiercer that came out some years ago. And the scene that stands out that I remember the most is when the guy sat there and confessed to the other guy the things that he hated about himself. And he said the thing that he hated about himself the most was that he knew how human flesh tastes. All right. And what he hated even more about it is that he knew the infants taste the best. So the primal wickedness, all right, which is especially in these Edomites, okay, is going to come out. Okay, that primal kill or be killed, merciless is going to come out, man.
An unwanted pregnancy. That's an entirely different video all to itself. So what's the solution? Trying to ugly yourself up isn't a viable option. In my opinion, there are two things you have available to you. The first is keeping a low profile by, for the most part, staying out of sight. This one sucks because it's basically a form of self-imposed imprisonment. As bad as shit hits the fan will be in general, it would be even worse if you had to hide the entire time and limit what little freedom you did have. The second option is something that you can do starting today, and that is learning to defend yourself. Not only do you need to...
And say, there he goes, man. It goes back to the scripture in Proverbs, leaning into thy own understanding, man. Okay? Leaning into thy own understanding. There's going to be marauders out there, groups and bandits of men, and they're going to be looking for resources. And women are actually going to become a resource, man. They're going to become a commodity. All right. Because if one group of men have water and another group have food, or they may have batteries, or they may have wipes, they may have Q-tips, medicine, aspirin, things that you take for granted now, as we get closer and closer to the collapse of this society. All right, because it's not going to be some 20, 30-year period like they show you in these movies, where it's 20 years after, after the nuclear war, 10 years after, 10 years later, 20 years later, 40 years later. It's not going to be that, man. That's not going to happen. All right, when Babylon gets destroyed, it's going to be destroyed within 1 hour, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the scripture, man. That's how it's going to happen. But as society falls, there will be a period of time where life will look like it's being portrayed on the screen, man. There's going to be a time where people are going to be living grimy, hunting for food, lack of food, that whole sort of thing, man. Well, people are just out there trying to survive, man. Eating abominable things, eating their own pets, their own animals. Okay? As society collapses and falls, man. Riots, race riots, food riots. This is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And I'm going to start at verse 15, the points in 17. Okay? But it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So they're going to be invading one another, man, in and out of each other's homes. Okay? And I guess, and having the skill of Bruce Lee defending your house is not going to help you, man. You will have to have the Spirit of the Lord on you, man, or it's over. It's simple as that, And this will be a reality. Women being bartered and sold. Okay? When these things take place. And it says, and a lot of you just going to die violently in the streets. Verse 17. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because in this short film right here, the guy used the girl as bait just to try to get past a checkpoint. That's why he bought her. He didn't even want the chick. He bought the chick in this film just to use her to go across the damn checkpoint, which he couldn't get across. And the men in the checkpoint took her. These are the men at the checkpoint, and put her in a tent. What do you think they put her in that tent for? She was to be entertainment for all the men there. All right? That's why they put her in a tent, man. And that's what happened. I don't want to get hit with copyright, so I'm just kind of going through it. But, as soon as the night came, after they've been defending this checkpoint, it's time for them to one by one go into the tent. That was what her purpose was. And that sort of thing is going to happen, man. This is Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh, thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her, and now she shall be trodden as the mire in the streets. All right, so you women are going to be trodden, and that's talking about how shit in the mud, man. And a lot of you going to get pounded, like that repeatedly by many and different men. All right. So you wanted to be promiscuous. Well, now you're about to be promiscuous by force. You're not going to have a choice in the matter. And if you're in a checkpoint like this, where it's 15, 20 men, then I guess you won't be thirsty for water, because it's going to be a lot of water for you to drink. All right. Whether you want it or not. All right. This is Isaiah 4 and 1. All right. But see, the women who are going to be covered by the men of the Lord are not going to have to worry about these things. All right. Because whether you want to believe it or not, your salvation is through a man of the Lord, man. Period. All right? To try to say, and you know, I can already see the scoffers come with a dumb, uneducated, unlearned comments disregarding what the scripture says that I'm about to read. But it reads, and in that day, seven women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and we will wear our own apparel, but only let us be called by thy name. All right. And this is what happened, because the dude actually came back for the girl. Why? So he could use her again. But she was expendable, because if she had to take, 4 or 5 penises before he came back in the night, because that's what he used the girl for. He used her to get past checkpoints. So while the men were distracted with her, he would come in and kill them and collect up his property and then leave. All right. So with that, I hope this was an edifying lesson, and I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS. All right. Who are our teachers, and Abba Babal.